Well, good morning, my friends. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, A Daily Guide to a Purposeful Life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We are on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy and grateful to have you along. We are on day 109 of that journey. And today's message is charting a new course. Charting a new course. And it goes like this. Charting a new life course is always done one step at a time. New territory will always feel uncomfortable to you. Always. Never let this deter you. Do one thing you feel is out of the normal comfort zone that you have today. Feel your normal, fearful self say, you don't have to do this. Why risk it? Stay in your little box and be safe. And then take the action anyway. You can hear that big loud voice telling you, no, this is new. This is too uncomfortable. Take it anyway. You hear it, take it anyway. Over time, what happens is the power of that loud ass ego voice will start getting into line. Start getting into line, realizing that your soul is in charge. In charge, okay? You're living your dreams. Get your ego going in the same direction as you, all right? And just say, nope, I'm in the front seat here. I'm taking over. Ego's had its day. Enough of the nonsense. Enough of the nonsense. I live anew, all right? And this is charting a new course for yourself. It's deciding to, it's choosing to, it's commanding yourself to, commanding yourself to do it. Okay? That's taking charge. That's charting a new course. All right? Take the action anyway. You will feel the flame of your true power burn away the voice of fear. And then you've entered the realm of your spirit, your higher, wiser, unlimited self. You've entered the creative self, the one that doesn't care you've got a vision for something and you don't care about that voice anymore. All of a sudden you're in a whole new zone. Creative zone is using your imagination in the right direction for you, for something that moves you positively, in a way of feeling satisfied in something that's beautiful, something you're just creating. Any little thing is like that. And then you can go into bigger things. And there is no limit. There is no limit to your imagination. Look what people have created. Look at what everyday people have created out there. You're no different. You are no different. Why not me? Why not me is a great question to always ask yourself. Why not me? Everybody is just doing the thing that's in there. If they're doing something, that their gift was given to them and they're taking it and they're running down the field with it and they're expressing it. They're deciding to open up that gift that God put in there. They're decided to open it up and keep going with it and see where that takes them. That's the journey of opening the gift. It keeps unfolding. Your creativity is something that just keeps unfolding, right? So you have to put that front and center. You are a creator. You come from the creative stuff of all things. The love energy is the forever energy. That forever energy is wise. It's as old is. It's forever. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Energy just is. God just is. Love just is. And you are part of that isness. You are part of that just isness. Look what God created you. God created a human for a little while to have some fun and some learning, mostly learning, but lots of fun too in this human journey. Okay. And when you learn to look at it as more of a school, well, then it makes a lot more sense. Because you've got lessons to learn and you have to grow. You have to grow. But growing is a privilege that you give to yourself. Growing is a gift you give to yourself. Your ego won't think that. Your ego will say, come on. Let me grow some other time. We'll go do that thing some other time. Next thing you know, you've wasted all that life force on what? On what? You are the most creative force in the universe in a little cup. You're a cup of that universal creative energy. Do not waste that. Do not let that be wasted in there, okay? Get out and do that something that you've always wanted to do. Even start in little ways. Like I always say, little things develop into bigger things, but stay on that same energy path and you'll find you're going to create and chart a whole new course for yourself that you're going to love. You're going to love because you're putting your love into yourself for a change and saying, yeah, what about me? I've got some life to live here. I've been living for others for so long and being a people pleaser or just not doing enough for other people in the other stance. I have been living as a curmudgeon, lazy, loathsome, not loving myself, not knowing who I am and saying, listen, other people have come out from this, under this rock that I'm at. Other people have done it. Normal, everyday people. That's it. I'm a normal, everyday person. I never thought I was going to, write a book about it, about the struggle and how to move on from it. But I needed to. I had to. It was in there, and it was my therapy that became my salvation. It was therapy that became my salvation. And God said, you can do it. You can do it. You have everything it takes to do it. And I'm like, really? Me? I was as surprised as anybody else when somebody said, I want to publish your book. And then it happened. So that's what I'm saying. Those little things that you think you're just doing for, I was doing it for myself, and then I learned it was helping other people. Boom. It grew. It kept growing because I kept watering it and I kept doing it. And even when I was busy with all the other things that are in our lives, I would still just throw it out there. And now I've made more of a commitment to myself and to the light of the world, in just saying, I'm just going to read this book and hope it helps everybody in whatever way that helps them. And we all have that something to give. We all have that something to give. Everybody. So do not waste that. Don't let that wisdom die inside of you. Don't let that music die inside of you. Don't let that talent die inside of you. You're here to express it. You are an expression of it. You are an expression of light and love and laughter and grace and mercy and forgiveness and apology and perseverance, determination. All of those upper things you already are. Sharpen those tools and you will live a different life. Sharpen those tools and express them in many different ways. And your life will blossom. Will blossom in many different ways. And you're going to love it. You're going to love it. So take God up on his daily offer of filling your cup and letting it overflow through you creatively. There you go. That's the alignment. That's the ascension. It's all in there. There's one beautiful ride. There's one beautiful ascension into who you always were. I was just watching something. This is great. I was just watching something on the dragonfly. Now, who doesn't love dragonflies? It's the sign of good fortune and all that good stuff, positivity. Well, the dragonfly, I didn't know this, was just a larval worm in the pond swimming around for 90% of its life. 90% of its life. And then after 90% comes, they know how to wriggle out onto the shore, leave the water for the first time in their lives, not knowing that whatever's going to happen to them, out onto the land. They climb up on a reed and they let the sun catalyze their change. They let them change and to grow wings out of this larval worm on this reed. The wings will appear from the sun, catalyzing all the things that the worm has learned and catalyzed under all that water. Well, that's a lot like us, for so much of our lives, we're under that water, like let's swim around and trying to find our way. We're just a little in the larval stage of our own existence. And then as we get older, all that wisdom starts to move in of all the crap that we did wrong and all the stuff that we got right. And we balance it all out and we sift it all out and say, okay, where do we want to go from here? Well, I'm going to use that wisdom and I'm going to grow with it. And I'm going to climb out out of the water and into the sun. And I'm going to be on that reed and I'm going to let those wings come out, because I'm going to take everything that I learned in that water under there, not knowing, and then knowing little bits and learning all that stuff along the way. I'll take that wisdom and then I'll catalyze it with the light. And you become that human being. You become that flight of the being. The being part takes over the human, and boom, now you're living an awakened life. And it's just way different. It's way different. You're out in the sun, you're out in it's more spacious, you can see better. And the dragonfly can never go back underwater. It never goes back in the water ever for the rest of its life. Because why? It knows it's a winged creature now. It knows how to fly and go anywhere it wants. It has the knowing now. It has embodied the truth of who it really is. And that's what's happening to all of us right now. Right now, believe it or not, that's happening within us, is that we're realizing we are much more than we have been told. This place that we're in is much more of a delusion than truth. It has been much more of an illusion than the truth. We have been lied to for centuries about who we are, and we are awakening to it, the truth of it within. We need no one else to tell us who we are when this happens. No one else can tell you who you are because you'll know it. And then you'll be embodying it just like that dragonfly. Your wings will come out and nobody's going to tell you you can't fly. Nobody is going to tell you you can't fly because you know you're a dragonfly now. It's like, no, come on back into the water. You're a larva. You know, you're calling you back to your old selves in that old place, that old dense place. You know, we had no wings and you could be eaten by any fish at any time. Well, that's it. Now you got wings. That stuff can't even touch you because you know who you are. You get it? You are the dragonfly. You're not the larva. I bet you're glad to know that. So I just found that really interesting. And nature has a way of always being a metaphor for the truth. The truth. And so we are coming into that truth more than we've ever been in it before. And it is incredible. It is incredible. Don't pay attention so much to what you see on TV. That's the play. That's the end of the play, the end of the old play. All right. And when we realize that we're the dragonflies and not the stunads that are on that stage, then we're all going to fly. We're all going to go, oh my God, what a horrible play we've lived in. And we're changing it. We're all just saying, grab your wings, get out on that reed and let the sun touch us all. Let the light fill us all so we all remember, so we never have to live in that crap again. That's what's happening. That's the ascension. Be part of it. Join your light, anchor your light, and fly. Use those talents of yours. Use those gifts. Spread light. Spread your light. That's what's most needed right now. Right now. So the world is changing. Be part of it. Don't get stuck in the past and don't get stuck back in the water with the rest of the larva. Climb out onto that shore. Take God up on his light and move in it. Move into it as the truth of who you really are. And you'll see those wings come out. You'll see them. They will take shape and you will fly, baby. All right. These never give your life over to the fearful voice of your ego that tells you things like you'll never do it. You'll never get that job. You're not smart enough. You're not good looking enough or young enough or whatever. These are lies of your lower nature. That's how you stay in that pond. You got to let go of the lies and choose to rise above the inner liar and take spirit up on its daily offer to live the life the way it was meant to be lived. You are this power. You are that dragonfly. Believe it, get to know it, and by using it, make that call. Go see that person, put that smile on your face, and take charge. Take charge of you, not anybody else. Take charge of you. Trying to take charge of everybody else so you can live in that. No, that's control. That's the old way of the old pond where you're going to get eaten by other fish. Don't worry about other people. Do this for yourself, and everything else takes care of itself. It does. You'll see that the reflection that you give in believing that and moving forward in it, and then seeing the results of it in your own life will be proof enough for yourself that you just never going back to that pond. Stay in the sun. Stay in the sun. Okay? One baby step at a time will lead to a whole new life. It is yours for the taking. Make sure to stay grateful for all you have now, and that the rest will fall into place as you choose to keep moving forward. CTA, never give up and never give in. You'll see, life is meant to be awesome. You must simply do your part. Be bold. Jump into the flow. Jump into the flow. Well, we all know what the flow is. The flow is that centered place where you feel good about where you're going because you know you're not traveling alone. You've taken up the charge. You're walking onto the water, climbing up onto the reed, and the light is surrounding you, has you protected, has you growing, has you feeling warmth and surrounded. And in that essence of truth, which is just going to help you as a plant grow and flowers spouting off of you, and just you'll feel better and you will emanate that energy around you. And it's just your new way. And it's not new. It's your oldest way, really. It's where we come from. It's being home while we're here. It's being home while we're here. It's waking up in the dream and saying, okay, this crappy dream's got to go. And we're building a new one together, united in that unity consciousness, Christ consciousness, right? The consciousness that Christ taught. Christ taught consciousness is what he taught. He taught we're all that. We are all, I am that, you are that is that, the tree is that, God is that which created all of this and that. All right. We're all in that big, beautiful oneness. And when we remember that part of ourselves, the oneness part of ourselves, then unity can really take hold. And that's just what's happening. Okay. So no more resistance, no more worry, no more fear. God's saying, I don't give you that. The governments give you that. Numbskulls give you that. Numbskulls. Evil, greedy numbskulls give us that crap. Don't even pay attention to it. Create the new world. Create it. All right? One day at a time, your beautiful way, and you will see what happens in your world change and grow. And then you just know that's just what everybody else needs to know is who they are. And then they can do it themselves. That's it, baby. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're creative. You're kind. You're charming. You're classy. You do all those things, man. You're just awesome. So look in that mirror and just tell yourself that, not in an arrogant way, in a grateful way that God created you just to be that way, that beautiful way. Now just spread that light of yours and you'll see what happens. Much love, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Go spread the good stuff.